This is another match from Headed Goal. This is 1980 West Germany versus 1980 Italy. 1980 West Germany actually won the Euros of that year, and it was hosted by Italy. The ratings, as I've described in the previous video, the very first video I made, they're based from, in the case of West Germany, their qualifying campaign. And it's quite easy to do, or fairly easy to do. You take the goals per game divided by 3 and times by 20 to get the attack. With the defense, it's the goals per game. See if I get this right. Goals conceded per game divided by. Let's see, I got it now. I knew I got it wrong. Right, the attack is goals per game, right, divided by 3 times 20. That gives you the attack rating. Defense rating is goals conceded per game. So I get it a little bit confused. Divided by 3 times 20. Yeah. And then subtract that from 20. But they're in the rules of the game anyway. And if anyone wants an explanation, just put in the comments and I'll explain it. I just can't remember it top of my head. Anyway, but it does represent the team at the time. Germany were the strongest of the era, as it's reflected in their ratings. Very attacking team. And of course, the more attacking team they are, there are some penalising on the ratings for defence. Because the team that will attack will also leave a little gap at the back. Whereas the opposite for Italy, very notoriously ironclad defence, talented players in attack. What I've done here is make sure that the squad, you can choose substitutes from the entire squad, which you don't always have. Sometimes you can do it like this: 3 from 5, 3 from 7, and 3 from the squad. So I'm playing this on neutral ground. But if I was playing this, say, it says Berlin Olympic Stadion. I've actually been there once. To see Hertha Berlin play Borussia Mönchengladbach a few years back. Beautiful stadium. If it was in the Berlin Stadium, then you see Germany's ratings go up and Italy's go down a touch. But we're playing neutral, even though it will say Berlin Olympia Stadion. Change the strip if I want to. I'm not going to because they don't clash. I could play against a computer, but the computer doesn't actually make that many subs. So I learned that. I've been playing this game for over 10 years. So I'll leave the strip as it is. Right, let's go through the teams, but I'll see if this works. Put a little bit of a national anthem in there and see if that works as well while I do the introductions. So let's look at the tactics. The AI has chosen this team, which is pretty much the team that played most of their matches. I'm going to leave the formation as it is, although Rummenigge could just as easily go there, and Alofs there. Horst Rubesch, on the other hand, I'd rather just keep up front. So let's just start the game. But I'll start off with the national anthem as I go through it. Captain Bernd Dinks. And that is the national anthem of Germany, just to give it some extra immersion. I've still got to put all the pictures in for the German team, but I've got most of them from that season.
Switch to Google Pixel. Everything you need in a phone from...
That shouldn't have come up then, should it? Good team. As you can see, here's a very young Lothar Matthäus, who's become one of their greats, but in this season, he's not rated that highly. So now we come to the Italy team, which is a team I used to love as a kid. I used to have a friend that used to live just around the corner. His parents were Italian. I was living in England at the time as a kid. And of course, he told me about all these players. I think my first World Cup I can vividly remember was the 1978 World Cup. Some of these players actually fall into that quite well. So let's look at the Italian team. This would form the basis of, and I'll just leave the Germans as they are there, except for ball defeat. Look at the Italian team. A lot of these players played in the 1982 World Cup and won it. But in 1980, even though they played at home, they didn't win. But they had some great players. Yeah, and that's the lineup there for the Italian team. Lots of fantastic players in their side. The great Dino Zoff, who played 82. Cabrini, played for Juventus, 82. These guys were just superstars. Shiraya, centre back, the elegant Gaetano Shiraya, sadly killed, if I remember correctly, on a scouting mission after he retired. Very sad that summer when he died. But he played in 1982. Fulvio Cavalavati, Gentile, notorious centre back, right back, um, famous for tearing off Maradona's shirt, I think in the 82 World Cup. One of my favourite players from that era, Giancarlo Antonioni, Fiorentina legend, great passer of the ball, was injured, didn't play in the 1982 World Cup final. He played in every other match. Marco Tardelli, loved him as a kid. He's a superb player, scored that iconic goal in the 1982 World Cup. Unsung hero, Gabriele Oriali, I think he played for Inter. Excellent midfielder, hard running, covered the ground. Another player I like as a kid, Franco Calzio, played on the right of midfield, just good on the ball, basically. Another one of my favourites, Roberto Bettiga, didn't play in 82, I think was injured. And imagine if he'd have played as well, my goodness. I mean, they had a good side anyway. But Bettiga was injured. But what a legend, a Juventus legend, Italian soccer legend. And another one I liked from 78 World Cup, played in 1982. Here is the 1980 season. He had a good season for Italy that year. Francesco Graziani, I think he was injured in the final of 82. Altobelli scored in the 1982 World Cup final. Giampiero Marini, good midfielder. Baresi played in the 1980. He's in a squad of the Euros, but I don't think he played. But this is the legendary Franco Baresi. Now, in later seasons, these would be fours, or at least the tackling would be a four, because he truly was world class. Zaccarelli, I remember that name from when I was a kid. And then the reserves, including Paolo Rossi. Paolo Rossi did not play in the 1980 Euros at all. He wasn't even in the squad, but he did play that season for Italy. So I've taken a lot of the players that played. So you can use him if you want. There's Baresi's brother. There's Pruzzo, I think, played for Roma, I think. There's a guy here, notorious player called Romeo Benetti. He could defend in midfield. So I've still got a couple of pictures to still find and put in. I'd never heard of this player until I actually did it. Ruben Buriani. And then there's Mauro Boruggi and Bordon in goal. So just an outstanding group of players. They will tackle hard. They will play defensive. They will play with a sweeper that's Scirea. Ball to feet. And I'll leave it at that. So let's get into it. We're playing on a neutral ground. I've got AI I'm playing both teams. I'll change tactics as I think they will have done. So I'll try and do the commentary as I go along. Keep it to a minimum. You can read what's going on down here. So here we go. Scirea striding forward. Out wide to Causio. Causio puts in an early cross here. And that is away by Ustinica. There's the hard running Brigo. I like this fourth stuff, bringing it fourth West Germany. They are the favourites. Plays it up, but it's cut out by Cabrini. There's Causio again on the ball quite early. There's Koulibaly. Moriali just trying to get to it, but Dietz is there, the German captain, sweeps up. Now to Ulisina. Went on to play for Real Madrid. Play for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Estica. Nice ball out by Sidica there. The fans love that one. And that's to Brigo on the right. Brigo puts it up towards the back post. Up goes Shrumesh. It's headed away by Scirea. Here's Counts. Counts plays it back in and takes a shot. And for Counts, the right back, attacking right back. He had a fantastic delivery from that right hand side. And Dino's off. Causio, coming deep. Plays up. There's Graziani getting away from his man. There's Graziani, Bastinica. Good solid challenge in for Germany. West Germany. They're rooming it. Looking up early in the half. Plays out to the right to his strike partner, Alofs. Alofs is going to play deep into the area. Away by Gentile. Dietz was challenging there. Dietz is out of position at the moment. There's Causio to Bettiga. Quickly pushed on to Graziani. And the referee blows for a foul. Is going to be awarded a free kick. As Rummenigge covering back there for Dietz has gone upfield. Put the tackle in. So just pressed on his jersey gestures at Rummenigge. He'll be okay. There's Gentile. Plays a quick ball and Graziani's trying to run onto it. Oh, played by Heinz Worcester there. Good defending. And there's Brigo. He can run. Bettiga wrestles the ball from him. Back to Bettiga. Brings it forward for Italy. Passes it to Tardelli. Tardelli looking for Bettiga. Bettiga running through. Hits on the body. And it's just a foot over the bar there from Bettiga. That's Roberto Bettiga. Dangerous ball for Italy. And here's Harold Schumacher, 2 years away from his infamous tackle of the French midfielder, come defender Patrick Battiston, who he nearly killed. There's Stout Cats. Right hand side. Scirea just eases him off the ball there. That's the class of Scirea. He brings it forward, but here comes Schuster. He is the schemer for Germany. And Schuster took out the drive. Not sure that was well advised to hit it from that place. Bernd Schuster was the star of the 1980 Euros and a star for Real Madrid and Barcelona. Causio coming deep again. Gets past the tackle quite easily there. Beats for a minute. Plays it wide to Antonioni. Antonio, nice weak pass. Brady running in stride. Plays it out wide to Bettiger's peeled away from his marker. Here's Bettiger, puts it in the area. Schumacher just takes it there, but he can't keep hold of the ball. Dropped it there, Schumacher. Force just had to help him out a bit there. Here's Bregel, one of his runs again. Plays it to Alos. Alos back to Bregel. Bregel goes forward, beats Cabrini. Plays the ball to Hrubesch. Hrubesch, what's he going to do? The big German. Out to Schuster. Jones just playing it square. Here's Hans Zimmer. Plays a nice ball in there, but Gentile just gets in front of Rubinegger and stops it from causing any danger. He players. Now here comes Germany again with Alex. I was going to try a powerful drive, and it's in! What a goal! Klaus Alofs! A fabulous drive. It didn't look like it was going to be anything, but he took a pot shot from outside the area, and Soft didn't see it. That reminds me of the 1978 goal by Ari Hahn against when Holland beat Italy in a second round match that saw Holland go through to the final. Soft was stranded, didn't see it coming. So Germany lead the favourites 1-0 against Italy. It's Bettiger. It's Oriali running from midfield. That's what Oriali does. And Oriali's going to try his luck here. Ooh, that was just over. So almost an instant reply from the Italians there. They've started reasonably well. But the Germans, in their mechanical way, have already got a lead. Almost fortuitously there from Carlos, who just took it and whittled it from outside the area. Nothing Zoff could do about it, really. Goal kick, here's Schumacher. He just beats his man for the ball. That's forward to Counts. Manfred Counts. Lovely ball by Counts. Out to Muller, takes it on his chest. And Muller puts it in the area. Here's Rubinegger! Ooh, it's Zoff save! What a save by Dino Zoff. Could have been two. Oriali driving from that midfield again. Stienecker just takes that ball from him. Stienecker. Hrubesch pushes it out wide to the left to Rubinegger. Rubinegger's going to run up the defence. No, he's going to pass it. And Gentile just got his challenging time there. So he's got confidence from the Germans here. Manfred Counts. Right in wide. Oh, that's driven across the area. And Zoff just takes it under pressure there. Zoff for Italy. Fits it. Well, he gets a nice little touch there. There's a short man. Grazione! Oh, both teams here are taking shots from distance. Maybe that's the only way they can beat that low block. Schumacher. Oriali all over the pitch at the moment. In fact, tossing with Schuster. Bettiger coming deep. And Bettiger can run at that defence. Plays it to Graziani. Graziani's going to give it back to Bettiger. Bettiger, Stienecker just takes it away from Bettiger when he's looking like he's going to be dangerous. Bettiger's getting into the game. Here's Oriali again. He's going to run from that midfield all day long if they let him. Schuster has it now. Just brings a bit of calmness to the German play. Chips it forward. Here's Bregel. Both teams here are going at it. The Germans have 5 shots and 5 shots, 3 on target. Possession's fairly even. Germany lead 1-0 on a able in Destinka. There's Muller. Plays it inside to Schuster. Just brings that ball from Rummenigge there on the outside of the area. That's going to be an interesting tussle between Rummenigge and Kelsey. At the moment, Kelsey's winning. Here's Rumesh. Should have for 21 yards. This time something's very aware. And he rolls the ball out like a pump catching the ball. So, plays it up to the competitor. This time Tardelli goes up with Costa. And Tardelli is forced in the face. Referee decided not to flush it. It's Hansi Muller. Germany are 3 down, they're getting Muller and Schuster on the ball just like before. They want to get Rummenigge into the game. And Rummenigge to Dietz. Captain. Plays it wide to Bregel. Bregel plays it into the area. Here's Rumesh. Alos! Goal! It's Tony on to Germany! Rumesh! Lovely ball, lovely control play. Rummenigge to Dietz to Bregel. Bregel chips it into the area. Rumesh throws above the Italian defence. And Alos with his second goal of the game. Just back to go. Italy right behind the 8 ball here. Just for the end of the half. Killer blow. Alos. So it's 2-0 at half time. Room here. Schuster having a good game. Schuster plays it in the area. There's Muller. Muller running with the ball. It's controlled by Muller. He squares it into the goal area. Rummenigge! Oh, good save by Zolfi. Got down low and he holds onto the ball. So Rummenigge just getting into the game ever so slightly. Dino's off. Oh God, Tardelli. Italy have got to do something now to get back into this game. Cabrino. Sharea now, moving forward the ball. Lovely graceful play from Sharea. To Oriali. Oriali's going to run with the ball here. And he's never going to get past that tank from Bregel. Bregel brings it forward. But Alos can't beat Antonioni. He's strangely very quiet in the game as well. Bregel. All intercepted by Tardelli, that's what they need. Tardelli out to Antonioni, he's the creator. Antonioni to Bettinger, who's pulled out wide. Needs to be in the box. Bettinger plays it into the box. Here's Cabrini! Just over the angle of the post bar. Much better play from Italy. It's a movement on the bench. Now then, Tardelli's having a bad game. Oriali's having a bad game. This won't necessarily do anything because I don't think Marini has the stats. But he has got 2 tackles. Tardelli also has a 2 tackles. So I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is they're getting overrun in midfield. So I'm going to put Antonioni to create just there. Oriali runs the ball quite a bit. And Tardelli to hold that midfield. However, and now I wish I had Benetti. Benetti's not playing. Kelsey's got the jab. Well, not that much. But he is creating. To get hold of that midfield, I need someone like Marini in there. So Kelsey's going to come off. Oriali will still get forward. Tardelli is now moved to that midfield place. Antonioni behind. Graziani. Going attacking. Get the ball forward quickly. No progress. Intercepted there by Carline's Bosses on a good game in the back. It's Tardelli, just what they wanted in that middle of the field, battling away. Cuts running forward. Carline's Bosses to win the ball. Now it's with Schuster. He can create. And Schuster's going to run with it. Schuster, Riala plays and he shoots. Blocked. Off Riala's side, going for a corner. Here's Brayton. Graziani's going to run into the area. Willis comes tackling Graziani, but he just pushed wide there. By Anthem. There's Schumacher. 7 minutes gone in this game. Germany lead 2-0. Tardelli now getting into the game just a little bit more. There's Giampieri and Marini. There's Ariali. Roberto. Tardelli pushing it back to Tardelli. Clever play. Marini there, played it there to Oriali. Didn't to Bettiga. That's been a lovely touch there. And he played it back to Tardelli. But Tardelli could only hit the side netting. Now then, the orange has come up and he's tired. Bettiga's not having a good game. Zaccarelli. Place it offside. Just get it up forward. Graziani's coming on. And Zaccarelli's coming on. And Germany, Regal's looking knackered. That's an easy change. Felix Magath will come on. Not much tackling in that midfield. There's Schumacher. Come on here in this second half, but Italy's giving him some more ground in that midfield. There's Tardelli, shrugs off Strinica, puts the ball into the area. Referee blows the whistle. West Germany have been giving a free kick there. Bettiga is now being pulled over by the referee and he's going to get hooked. He's not happy at all. Yellow card for Roberto Bettiga. Stinica, just marshalling that defence at the back of the goal. Here's Anthem. He's lovely, look at that dribbling there by Miller. Gets past the tackle, back to Rummenigge. Rummenigge flicks it back onto Muller. Muller going forward again, gets past Gentile, puts the ball into the penalty area. Here's Magath, takes a turn. Oh, lovely save by Zoll. What a lovely play that Anthem there. Just dribbling past that German defence, that Italian defence. Put the ball in the area. Magath took it on his thigh, turned and got the shot off, but Zoff turned it around the corner. Germany lead 2-0. Just under half an hour to go. Counts with the corner. Nice catch by Dino Zoff. There's Zoff now. Try to find Antonioni, who's had no space today. Here he comes going forward, but him and Rummenigge crushed there together, and Germany have been all given the free kick. So Rummenigge quickly touches it off. Oh no, he doesn't. He plays a through ball. Clever play by Rummenigge. But this time, Romesh is offside. So the Italians are playing offside all of a sudden. Seems to work. Escherel. Tardelli. Nice header onwards is Marini! Over the bar. Marini's come on and made a difference in the second half. They're just trying to get on the game. They have 51% possession. Trimmer. There's the ball. Deep. And lovely control by Benzema. Lets Dietz go away on the left-hand side. Dietz out to wide to Rummenigge. Rummenigge drives it across the box. And here's Dietz in the turn. Oh, Dietz could have done better with that shot there. It's Germany now turning on. They've 11 shots on goal, 7 on target. Zoff has been outstanding in the goal for Italy. There's Dino's off. Marini picks it up in that midfield. Plays the ball forward, tries to get the ball up quickly. To Benzema. Gets into the far corner. What a powerful header that was from Roberto Benzema. This is better from Italy. It's Caprini. Plays it in. It's going to get that away for Germany. And that was the problem with the 1980 Italy. Lots of talent just could not score. Here's Magath. Lovely ball to Schuster. Muller. And he puts it wide. Fancy Muller and Schuster are playing well at the moment. Nice combinations there. They're the skill in that midfield. Magath has come on to help them. And up front, Rumesh, Alos, Rummenigge are keeping the Italians at bay. Better than the start so far for Italy. Here's off. I love what Dino's off. Here's the Spurs. Germany gets a free kick, so 4 minutes gone. Tardelli now is being booked. Yep, second Italian player to go in the book. Marco Tardelli. Knee in the back of Karl-Heinz Forster. Yes, Forster's been excellent today with defensive steam. There's a ball forward. There's Fulvio Colbart. Schuster gets it now. Schuster brings it forward. Dribbles past the defence. Schuster looking for Rummenigge in the box. Nice tussle there from Gentile. Just evades Rummenigge's tug of the shirt. There's Gentile. Tardelli. Marini. Just can't get Antonioni in the game at the moment. He's just drifting there. Just can't get him in the game. There's Dietz. Magath. There's Strubesh coming wide. But Gentile has it now for Italy. Tardelli. To come into the game a bit more in the second half. Tardelli to Marini. Looks around, lovely ball by Marini. But Schumacher's out to catch the ball. There's Harold Schumacher. That's taken by Oriali, who looks very tired at the moment. But he pushes it out wide to Marini again. Italian starts over, Marini and Tardelli. Just getting the ball rolling for Italy now. Germany have been wanting a free kick again. This time Tardelli's in trouble again. Over a stump that was showing into the right centre. He's on the yellow card. Oh, what a referee. Just on a strong word with Tardelli there. Muller gets up shaking his head, waving an imaginary yellow card to the referee. Marco Tardelli was no angel in that midfield. Eschtili. To Karl-Heinz Forster. Muller, who's had some lovely chances in this game, and tries to volley it from outside the box. Wow! What a lovely piece of skill from Benzema. There's counts when they call a kick. Lovely shot from outside the back. It's Tardelli on a yellow card and probably could have been a red. Reali surges forward as he was doing in the first half. Reali beats Magath again. Goes forward. Looking for Zaccarelli. Zaccarelli runs into space. Reali's going forward. And the whistle goes as Dietz and Reali collide with each other. I think yellow card is coming for Reali. Yes. Dietz is staying on the floor. So the Italian frustrations are now coming out, and it looks like Dietz is going to have to be stretching off. Oh my. The German captain is having to be stretched off. No surprise there playing against this Italian side. So a little bit of reorganisation in defence. Fred Foster's going to come on, the brother of Carmines, and he's going to slot it to left back. 85 minutes gone. Reali there with a yellow card. Big round of applause for Dietz is coming off. Reali just doesn't look perturbed one bit there for his yellow card. Next did it. Counts. Good first touch by Counts. It gets past the man, he's down there. Lovely play by him from Counts. Push it on to Alofs. Alofs watches Counts run forward. Counts going with the ball. Counts puts in a lovely cross into the area. Headed away by Shiraya. Over outside our corner. Italians have been absolutely smashed here at the moment. So what we're going to do, we're going to give Franco Baresi a little run out in place of Fulvio Colomati. Don't want to change the result. And Italy, Enzo Berzot's making a change. Franco Baresi is coming on in his place. Colomati's game is over. And a poor game actually. Here's Manfred Counts. Counts deep to the far post. Away by Baresi there, he beats Frubesh. Desharaya. One touch pass to Betica. Betica makes some ground. Betica run with the ball. Passes to Zaccarelli. Zaccarelli watches Betica run forward. Betica goes for a return. But in there is his nemesis of the night. Really Stilika there. Like a wall. Defends. Stilika sets up a long ball himself. There's Ruminella. Ruminella pulls it back to the D. There's Bernd Foster, who's got driving a shot. So comfortably saves it there. 4 minutes of extra time remaining. Germany lead 2-0. There's Dino Zoff. Just went too quickly there. The Italians try and throw everything at this German defence. Really, Stilika's been superb. Stilika stylishly pushes the ball out to Magath. Let's finish Magath now, who runs forward with the ball. And that will be it. Referee sealing up. Germany, who were the favourites. 2 excellent goals of Klaus Alofs. One off volley from outside the area, and one off volley up close. That was enough for them to win the game comfortably. A good performance there from Stilika, Karl-Heinz Foster. Muller and Schuster showed some lovely touches, particularly Muller's second half volley there that was just taken from about 25 yards out, flicked it up in the air, turned and volleyed it just over Zoff's post. Ruminella was all, puffing and puffing today, didn't really do much. Rubesh was anonymous. Alofs really was martial. Kind of the defence looted them a bit, but Alofs did get those 2 strikes. In Italy, Zoff was superb in goal throughout the match, and Betica, strong running, always kept Italy in with a sniff. But really and truly, Tardelli was lucky to stay on. Italy looked a little bit better when Marini came on in the second half, to be fair, but it was too late by then. And Antonioni, their creative player, the darling of their side, unfortunately just couldn't get free from the defence of Counts, Forster, Stilika and Dietz. So that's the end of the match. I've seen Germany play better. I've seen Italy play better. The final score here from the neutral ground, it makes us Berliner. score is West Germany 2, Italy 0. So you get a scoreboard. See the possession of shots, overwhelming in the Germans' favour. Italians a little bit brutal with the old fouling. And you can get a match report. It's generated, gives you the lineups, who had shots, what they on target. So for example, passing, Stilicon marshalled a lot from the back, was what he did. Well, Schuster was a bit quiet today, but he did have 3 good runs with the ball, and you can see the rest of the stats. Bettiger, for example, 10 passes, 4 runs. Reali drove from that midfield as well, but it wasn't enough. So that's the end of the game. We end the match. And just so you can see how it is, this is headed version 3.03, and it comes with a few seasons already. Like a lot of these were already in the game, 99, 2000 up to, I think it's, they actually put the England League team, yeah. So you've got England 2010, so all the teams that played in the Premier League in 2010, the whole season's in there. It's got a lot of the European seasons, 2001, who played in Champions League. So for example, if I look at Liverpool that season, and you get all the players that played and their ratings, running, like dribbling, crossing, passing, corner, air, tackle, and even their discipline. I think the higher the number here on discipline, the more fouls they commit, I think. Looking at it, goal scoring in that season, Robbie Fowler scored 3, would have been outstanding in that particular season. 2001, I thought was Michael Owen's season, to be fair. But this is a European rating, so it's a little different. If you go to the league, England 2010, go to Liverpool, let's have a look. I think you'll find he has a better... Oh, he didn't play that season. Sorry, that's 2010. But I know Torres would have had a good season. There you are. Goal scoring 3. So you can put the ratings in, you see. Some of them come with... Let's see if I can do it with one of these teams just quickly. Pick Chelsea. Oh, they've all got their maximums in there too. Julio Drogba 2. So, and the ratings, I mean, Chelsea in that season, they would have done, like I said, there's a ratings formula you can play around with. They're clearly super boosted in that season. If I go to edit team, let's have a look at my Manchester United side. This is towards the end of the Alex Ferguson era, but still all the greats are there. So let's pick one. Michael Owen actually was playing for Man United at that point. Wayne Rooney, Wazza, 3 for goal scoring. You see, Ronaldo wasn't in this side. Giggs is there still. You see Ryan Giggs' stats are pretty good all across the board. I think Scholes would also be a 3 for passing, as would Michael Carrick. This is all relative to the English season, not the Champions League. Vidic and Ferdinand would be 3s, I'd imagine. 3 for tackling. Ferdinand would be a 3. There could be 2s in the air. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised Vidic isn't that. And you've got the disciplinary ratings there. Paul Scholes is always going to get a foul, high rating there. The lower the consistency, the better the keeper. Van der Sar is a 2. 1 would be truly world class. By this time, Van der Sar was on the decline. And then the appearance and starts in this particular season. Patrice Evra, the United left back, who's not rated very well here. He was a left back, not a right back. The game, whoever programmed it, bless him, didn't put that stat in correctly. But and there are little errors here and there you'll find. Just choose another. Manchester City before the money came in. I think the money would have just been coming in at this point, 2010. Yeah, you can tell, because some of the famous players are there now. Tevez moved from United. Wayne Bridge, De Jong, Kompany, Zabaleta. Even Michael Richards was on telly now. think this team actually, look, this season after, I think they won for the first time. Oh, Adebayor, a rubbish player. And then, still looking at 2010, Arsenal. Rubbish Arsenal. So you got players like Fabregas, who was a world-class player in that team. I remember Alex Song, Aaron Ramsey, who's still playing to this day. Theo Walcott, don't know where he is these days. Robbie Van Persie was still with Arsenal then. So yeah, you can play these. I mean, I don't tend to play with these seasons, but there are quite a few in here, and it's very easy to make them. So these came in the game. Then the Euro 80 is my creation. And what I've realised is you can create as many teams as you want, really, in a season. So at the moment, I've created 8 teams for this file. And I can do new team, like so. And then create a player. And I'll do another video as to how to set them up anyway. But you can do that and save. You can edit the referees. I've never tried to do it, but I know you can do it. You can edit countries, grounds. You don't need to mess around with it. What I do like about it is that you can actually see here MLS. This version of the game, by the way, was last made in 2010. And what I've done is add in a few downloads. There was an update in 2010, so it does have some World Cups in there. The World of Football is mine. World Cup Legends is mine. However, you can replay the 2010 World Cup, 6 to 98, and you can go back as far as 1954. It also has World Cup greats somewhere, unless I've got rid of it. Ah, I think I've deleted it. Ah, maybe it's World Cup Legends. Yeah, World Cup Legends has the greatest, allegedly, up until 2010 anyway, the greatest national sides. How they did the stats, I'm not quite sure, because there's only like 5 matches they would have played. What I tend to do to get a more realistic rating is to look at the qualifiers of a particular season, and then you get a better rating. But anyway, 70 Brazil is widely known to be the greatest team of all time. So if you look at them, I don't think they're necessarily rated very well. But they're here they are, because they're as good as it's going to get. 19, 19, and 15. But Pelé is there. Revelino is there. Clodoaldo is there. Rampaging right back Carlos Alberto is there. Ronaldo, who played in the final. Jairzinho, look at that, 4. Wow. I mean, these guys are going to be killing it. I mean, the legends in this one: Tostao, Revelino, Gerson for 3 for passing. So whoever did that seemed to have done a decent job of rating these. Hungary, Brazil. I mean, it goes on and on. 74 West Germany be interesting because they're one of the best. I've always thought, always underrated. Franz Beckenbauer would be the one that stands out. Yeah. 3 passing. Yeah, of course he does. Gerd Muller, who we've recently lost, for some reason they haven't rated him as a goal scorer. Now that is criminal. Sometimes whoever rates it just gets it a little bit wrong. And just think in this particular case, whoever created this file, it was included in the 2010 update. Might have just not checked it properly. Because some of these players are much better than this. Like Overat was an outstanding player in midfield. Betty Volks, good tackler. Schwarzenbeck was good indeed. So most of it's right, but Gerd Muller not having a 3 is, or even a 4, is ridiculous because he's a 4 player. Should have Holland 1974 in there as well. Yep. There we are. This is my side. I love this side, even though I was too young to remember it. I saw them in '78 though, when I was a boy. But players like Neeskins, players like Johan Cruyff. Again, this is relative to that particular tournament, not necessarily the season. Piet Kaiser was a great player, but he didn't play well in that World Cup. René van der Kerkhoff and Willy van der Kerkhoff are there. Van Hannigan was an outstanding player. He should have a 3 for passing. Where's Johnny Rep? Johnny Rep is there. Again, these guys should have a better rating, I feel. And finally, just the last one I will have a look at. If you want to say it more modern, look at France 98 with the Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane there, 3-3, and look at their rating. Not necessarily great, actually. I don't think they scored a lot of goals in that tournament. I remember Kovac was the striker, and he hardly scored a goal. But yet, they've rated Henry and Trezeguet as 3s. Now, in real life, yeah, but not in that particular World Cup. So, again, maybe I'm being fussy because I consider myself an amateur football historian. And in the last one from 2010, you have Spain, which is the greatest side. And yet, because in that tournament Spain didn't score a lot of goals, they only got 7. But if you play them against the other teams, they'll probably lose. But if you just do a realistic rating, look at their qualifiers, if they had to qualify, that is, or their season, you could get a better, more rounded rating. Or you could just look at the players in their side and think, well, they should be higher than that, surely. So in this particular case, David Villa he's rightly rated as a 3. Torres was out of form by that point. But look at those names, though. These are names that we still talk about today. Puyol, Casillas, Reina, Puyol, Piqué, Sergio Ramos, Iniesta, Busquets, Xavi Alonso, Xavi Martinez, Fabregas, David Silva, Pedro, David Villa, Fernando Torres. I mean, it just got Juan Mata played in that side. Wow. Juan Mata can't even get United seen. He should have been. He should be there. Anyway, that brings it to an end. Oh, one more look at Maradona. Can't go without looking at Diego Armando. God rest his soul. 4 for dribbling because he was that good. Passing is 3. Yeah, brilliant. So I love this game. Classic Soccer is another game that's similar, done by the same programmer, but a different game designer. So there are a lot of similarities if you do play Classic Soccer. It's not for me, Classic Soccer, but mainly because it's got loads of seasons, I might add. But I like to edit, and because if there's an inconsistency that I see, and I can't do that in Classic Soccer. So bring that to an end.